So I love to bake. I've always enjoyed baking, and now it is so fun that I get to bake with my 3 kids. Mostly the older 2, not so much the baby yet. But I was baking the other day with my 2 kids, and in the middle of the mess that was baking, I found myself thinking, gosh, this would have been a lot easier if I had done this by myself. And actually, I thought about the idea too that the cleanup would have been easier, the product would have maybe even been like most effective if I had done it by myself. But then I thought, but I love doing it with them. And it's funny because it had me thinking about the concept of the fact that God could have easily chosen to build his kingdom here on earth without us. That God could have easily, it would have been easier cleanup, it would have been an easier process, and yet God has chosen to allow us to partner with him in what he's doing here on the earth because he delights in doing it with us. It had me thinking about Ephesians 2:10. This is kind of a classic passage that maybe we hear often, but it's this idea that we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. See, sometimes I think we hear the phrase good works and we maybe get a little bit triggered thinking, wait, but I thought it wasn't our good works that earn us a spot in heaven. And that's true because, in fact, if you look in the verses before, it says, for it's by grace that you've been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves. It is a gift from God, not by works so that no one can boast. But then it goes on to tell us that but God has created us in Christ Jesus to do good works that actually weren't just an accident, but things he prepared in advance for us to do. And not just do by ourselves, but for us to partner with him in what he's trying to do here in the world. I wonder for you today if maybe you've lost sight of some of the good works that God has specifically designed you and positioned you to do. That maybe there's a neighbor you found yourself praying for regularly or thinking about constantly that maybe you could serve. Maybe there's a situation at work that you find yourself thinking, I actually could do something there. Or maybe you pay attention even to what are the ways that God has wired me to care about things in my community that maybe he wants to work in and through me to do. And that we can't miss the part that he's prepared these works in advance for us, wiring us and gifting us with what we need to accomplish it, but more than anything else, giving us his spirit to walk with us as we do the things that he's given us to do. So would you be encouraged today that God has given you good works to do before you, but that God has invited us to partner with him as he builds his kingdom here on earth?